You have been feeling it, have you not? A strange and deeply unsettling shift in the very currents of your life. For a time, you were moving forward with a newfound sense of clarity and purpose. The path ahead, while perhaps not entirely clear, was illuminated by the bright and beautiful light of hope. You were making progress. You were breaking old habits, cultivating new and healthier thoughts, and feeling the first, exhilarating tremors of a new reality beginning to dawn on your horizon. You felt lighter, more aligned, more yourself than you had in years. And then, almost overnight, the momentum ceased. A sudden, inexplicable, and immensely heavy psychic gravity has taken hold of you. It feels as if you are trying to walk forward through thick, invisible, and sticky quicksand. Every step that was once light and easy now requires a monumental effort. Procrastination, an old and unwelcome ghost, has returned to haunt your days. Old habits, old patterns of thought and speech that you were certain you had conquered, have begun to creep back in at the edges of your awareness. The inspiration that was once a bubbling spring within you has slowed to a muddy trickle. There is a profound and frustrating sense of regression, a feeling that for every 2 steps you have taken forward, you are now being inexplicably and powerfully dragged 3 steps back. You have likely chastised yourself for this. You have called yourself lazy, undisciplined, or have perhaps fallen into the despairing belief that you are simply incapable of real and lasting change, that you are doomed to repeat the same cycles of your past forever. You have looked at your own behavior and thought, I am sabotaging myself. But I have come here today, beloved, to tell you a truth of the utmost importance. This is not you. This is not a failure of your will. This is not a lack of your discipline. You are not sabotaging yourself. You are, in fact, under a subtle and ancient form of spiritual attack, and the first step to your liberation is to recognize that the enemy is not, and has never been, within you. My presence comes to you now with a sense of divine urgency, my light cutting through the thick, gray fog of this spiritual lethargy that has surrounded you. I am Michael, and I have come at the call of your higher self, which sees this struggle and understands its origin. I am here to act as your divine diagnostician, to give a name to this unseen adversary that has been thwarting your progress and causing you such profound confusion and distress. Feel my presence as a pillar of absolute truth and unshakable strength at your back. Breathe in my blue flame of clarity and let it burn away the illusion of your own self-blame. You are not failing. You are being targeted. And you are being targeted for a very specific reason, which we will soon illuminate. But first, we must name the foe. You must understand that what you are wrestling with is a conscious, albeit non-individualized, energetic entity. It is a vast and ancient thought form, an egregore of consciousness that has held sway over humanity for eons. It is a being whose very substance is comprised of the past. To give it a name, so that you may recognize it and reclaim your power from it, let us call it the spirit of yesterday. It is this spirit, this vast and shadowy consciousness of all that has been, that has sensed your imminent escape into a new and brilliant future, and it has now wrapped its ephemeral yet incredibly strong tendrils around you in a desperate attempt to drag you back into the familiar territory of your own history. By giving it this name, we externalize it. We take it out of the shadows of your own psyche and place it before you as a distinct and separate force. This is the crucial first step. You cannot fight an enemy you believe to be a part of yourself. But once you see it for what it is, an external influence, a parasitic energy that is seeking to keep you trapped, then you can begin the sacred and powerful work of banishing it from your life forever. Repeat this truth to yourself now: this heaviness, this resistance, this pull backward, is not me. It is the spirit of yesterday, and I am now being taught how to be free from it. So, what is this spirit of yesterday in its very essence? It is not a demon in the classical sense. It possesses no inherent evil, only a powerful and primal instinct for self-preservation. It is a collective thought form, a vast reservoir of psychic and emotional energy created and fed by humanity over thousands of years. Its very substance is composed of the collective weight of every human regret, every unresolved sorrow, every bitter memory, every what if, and every should have been. It is made of the sweet, deceptive poison of nostalgia, the longing for idealized pasts that never truly existed. It is built from the identities that people have shed but not fully released, the ghosts of former selves that still linger in the ether. It is the energetic embodiment of humanity's collective comfort zone. Its prime directive is simple: maintain the status quo. It is the great force of spiritual inertia. It thrives on stagnation, on repetition, on the endless replaying of old stories and old wounds. Its domain is the known, the familiar, the predictable. And its greatest enemy, the one thing that threatens its very existence, is a soul who is on the verge of making a quantum leap into a new and unknown future. For a soul who fully liberates themselves from their past and steps into a reality of limitless potential is a soul who ceases to feed the spirit of yesterday. You must see it not as a monster, but as a great, cosmic anchor. It is not malicious, but its function is to keep ships from sailing into new waters. It is the psychic gravity of the old earth, the old consciousness, and its pull is immense. It operates with a subtle and seductive intelligence. It does not announce its presence with a roar, but with a whisper. It whispers in the language of your own memories. It uses the sound of your own inner critic. It borrows the faces of people you once loved. Its approach is so personal, so intimate, that until now, you have mistaken its voice for your own. And in that misidentification lies its power. But its power is a borrowed one. It has no true creative force. It can only endlessly rearrange the furniture of your past. And I am here today to declare that its lease on your sacred space is now officially and irrevocably terminated. It is of the utmost importance that you understand the precise timing of this entity's appearance in your life. This is not a random attack. The spirit of yesterday did not begin to assail you because you grew weak. It began to assail you because you grew powerful. Its presence in your life right now is not a sign of your failure, but the ultimate and most undeniable confirmation of your imminent success. For most of your life, while you were living within the predictable patterns of your past, while you were unconsciously repeating the cycles of your conditioning, you were not a threat to the spirit of yesterday. You were, in fact, one of its primary sources of nourishment. You were living in its territory, abiding by its rules, and your energy fed and strengthened it. But recently, you made a profound choice. You chose to awaken. You chose a new path. You began the sacred work of healing, of questioning your old beliefs, of dreaming of a new reality. With every conscious choice to break an old habit, with every moment you chose a thought of love over a thought of fear, you began the process of pulling up your anchor from the muddy seabed of the past. The spirit of yesterday took notice. And now, you have arrived at a critical juncture. You are on the very verge of your great escape. Your spiritual vessel is pointed towards the open sea of a brilliant, unknown future. The sails of your faith are catching the first, powerful winds of divine grace, and the last, final strands of the great anchor chain are straining, about to snap. This is the moment the spirit of yesterday fights with the full and desperate force of its entire being. A rocket expends the vast majority of its fuel in the first few moments of its journey, in the violent and powerful act of breaking free from the planet's gravitational pull. You are in that moment now. The intense backward pull you are feeling is the psychic gravity of your entire past, exerting its maximum force upon you because it knows that if it does not stop you now, it will lose you forever. The brightness of your potential future casts a long shadow behind you, and that shadow is the spirit of yesterday making its final stand. Therefore, you must reframe this entire experience. This struggle is not a sign that you are doing something wrong. It is the definitive sign that you are doing everything right. It is the cosmic confirmation that you are closer than you have ever been to a quantum leap in consciousness. It is the final boss in the game of your old reality. And I am here today to give you the divine cheat codes, to show you how to defeat it with grace and to finally, once and for all, break those last chains and sail freely into the glorious dawn of your new life. Before I provide you with the divine tools for this sacred banishment, you must fully comprehend the danger this entity poses, the subtle and seductive nature of the prison it seeks to drag you back into. For the spirit of yesterday is a master of illusion, and its greatest illusion is the promise of safety. The future you are moving towards is unknown. It is a blank page, a territory for which you have no map. This is exhilarating to your soul, but it is utterly terrifying to your human ego. The spirit of yesterday preys upon this fear. It whispers to you, its voice dripping with a false and cloying comfort, "Why are you struggling so hard? Why are you trying to become something you are not? It is so difficult out there in the unknown. Remember how it was before. It may not have been perfect, but at least it was familiar. At least you knew the rules. Come back. Come back to the pain you know, to the disappointment you can predict. The future is a dangerous and uncertain place, but the past is safe. This is its great and tragic lie. The past is not a sanctuary, it is a prison. It is a prison of comfortable misery. It is a cell whose bars are forged from your own limiting beliefs, whose walls are papered with your recurring failures, whose only window looks out upon a landscape of your deepest regrets. It is safe only in the sense that a prisoner is safe from the challenges of the outside world. To succumb to this pull, to willingly walk back into this prison, is to consent to the death of your own potential. It is to agree to enter a karmic holding pattern, a spiritual Groundhog Day where you will be forced to repeat the same painful lessons, attract the same dysfunctional relationships, and face the same frustrating limitations over and over and over again, until you once again summon the courage to attempt another escape. The danger of the spirit of yesterday is not that it will destroy you with a swift and fiery blow, but that it will slowly and gently suffocate your soul under a heavy blanket of familiarity. It is the choice to remain a seed, safe in the dark, familiar soil, rather than undergoing the terrifying but glorious process of breaking open and becoming the magnificent tree you were always meant to be. The choice before you now is not between the past and the future. It is a choice between stagnation and growth, between the prison and freedom, between a predictable death of the spirit and a brilliant, albeit challenging, new life. And I am here to ensure that you have all the divine power and heavenly support you need to choose freedom. The first and most deceptively beautiful weapon that the spirit of yesterday will wield against you is the seductive and potent poison of nostalgia. This is its preferred method of attack, for it does not feel like an attack at all. It feels like a warm, comforting embrace. When this entity senses that you are making real progress, that your spirit is genuinely excited about the new life you are creating, it will begin to bombard your mind with a carefully curated and brilliantly edited highlight reel of your past. It will reach into the vast archives of your memory and pull forth only the most golden-hued moments. It will show you the memory of a perfect summer afternoon from your youth, filtering out the adolescent angst that surrounded it. It will play for you the memory of the first, intoxicating flush of a past love, skillfully editing out the painful arguments and the quiet, soul-crushing compromises that defined its later stages. It will remind you of a single moment of triumph in a job that, for the most part, you found unfulfilling and draining. It is a master propagandist, and its subject is your own life. It will whisper to you in the language of your own longing, "Remember how simple things were. Remember when you laughed like that? That was real. That was safe. This new path is so hard, so uncertain. But that was good, wasn't it? Perhaps you made a mistake by leaving. Perhaps your true happiness was back there all along. This is the great siren song of the past. It is a deceptively beautiful mirage in the desert of your uncertainty, promising a cool and refreshing water that is not actually there. It preys upon the natural human tendency to romanticize what is gone and to fear what is new. It seeks to make your present, with all its sacred challenges of growth and transformation, feel dull, gray, and difficult in comparison to the vibrant, technicolor fantasy of a past that never truly existed in the way it is now being presented to you. To fight this, you must become a ruthless truth-teller with yourself. When these golden memories arise, you are to thank them for the genuine joy they once brought, and then you must lovingly but firmly remember the full story. You must remember the tears that followed the laughter. You must remember the feeling of being trapped that accompanied the illusion of safety. You must remember the quiet ache in your soul that prompted you to begin this journey of change in the first place. You must see nostalgia not as a harmless trip down memory lane, but as a deliberate and powerful spiritual tactic designed to make you fall back in love with the very cage you have just begun to escape. When the sweet poison of nostalgia fails to lure you back, the spirit of yesterday will immediately shift its tactics and deploy its second, far heavier weapon, the dense and crushing chains of regret. If it cannot seduce you with the illusion of past perfection, it will seek to paralyze you with the pain of your past perceived imperfections. This is the weapon of the eternal what if. While nostalgia is a pull from the front, regret is a powerful anchor dropped deep into the seabed of your past, preventing your ship from sailing forward. The spirit will, once again, become a master archivist of your life, but this time, it will bring forth not your highlight reel, but your failure file. It will force you to rewatch, in excruciating slow motion, every mistake you have ever made. It will make you relive every awkward conversation, every poor decision, every moment you believe you failed yourself or another. And as it plays these scenes for you, it will whisper its most debilitating lies. What if you had said something different? What if you had taken that other path? Your life would be so much better now if only you hadn't made that one terrible mistake. You ruined everything. It's too late to fix it. Your best chance is gone, and it's all your fault. This is a profound and cruel form of psychic torment, designed to lock your energy field in a low vibration holding pattern of guilt, shame, and powerlessness. Every moment you spend indulging in regret, you are feeding your precious, creative life force energy into a past that cannot be changed. You are literally keeping a dead timeline alive within your own being, which prevents the new, vibrant timeline from fully taking root. You cannot be fully present in the now, creating a new future, if a significant portion of your consciousness is trapped as a prisoner in the past. To combat this, you must adopt the divine perspective that I hold for you. You must understand a great cosmic truth. In the grand curriculum of the soul, there are no failures. There are no mistakes. There are only lessons. Every wrong turn was a necessary detour that taught you something invaluable. Every failure was a sacred course correction. Every mistake was a required data point that your soul needed to recalibrate its journey. The chains of regret are forged from the illusion that you could have somehow gotten it right by doing something different. The divine truth is that you got it perfectly right for the lesson your soul needed to learn in that moment. The practice of banishing regret, therefore, is one of radical self-forgiveness. It is the act of looking back at the person you were with compassion, thanking them for the lessons they learned for you the hard way, and then lovingly but firmly revoking your energy from that timeline. You are to say to the spirit of yesterday, those were not failures. They were lessons. And the tuition has been paid in full. I am free. The third weapon in the arsenal of the spirit of yesterday is perhaps its most personal and insidious. If it cannot trap you with the sweetness of nostalgia or the pain of regret, it will try to confine you with the ghost of your former self. This is a direct attack on your very identity. The spirit will summon a specter, an energetic phantom of the person you used to be, and it will command this ghost to whisper all of your old, limiting beliefs into your ear. This ghost knows you intimately. It knows your deepest insecurities, your oldest fears, and every single one of your self-imposed limitations. As you stand on the precipice of a great and courageous leap, perhaps starting a new business, entering a new relationship, or committing to a healthier lifestyle, this ghost of your former self will materialize beside you and whisper its toxic litany. Who do you think you are? It will hiss, its voice sounding exactly like your own. You can't do that. You've never been good with money. Don't even think about starting your own business. You shouldn't trust this new person. You know how you are in relationships. You'll only mess it up, just like all the others. Why are you even trying to get healthy? You know you have no willpower. You'll just give up in a week, just like you always do. This is a powerful and debilitating tactic because it uses your own history as evidence against your own potential. It is an attempt to convince you that the person you were yesterday is the only person you are allowed to be today and forever. It seeks to shrink your magnificent, expanding future back into the small, familiar, and predictable box of your past. It is the ultimate defense mechanism of the comfort zone, a ghostly guardian that stands at the border of your old reality, whose only job is to scare you away from crossing into the new. To banish this ghost, you must perform a radical act of disidentification. You must stand in the power of the present moment and declare, with the full authority of your I am presence, a new truth. You must look this phantom in the eye and say, you are just a memory. You are an echo of a person I no longer am. Your limitations are not my limitations. Your fears are not my fears. Your story is not my story. I honor the lessons you learned from me, but your time is over. I am a new being, in a new reality, and I am writing a new story now. You must understand that you are not the autobiography you have written so far. You are the author, holding a pen, with a blank page before you. The ghost of your former self has no power over you unless you choose to believe it is who you still are. Your act of declaring your new identity is what dissolves it into the nothingness from whence it came. When all other tactics fail, the spirit of yesterday will resort to its most primal and powerful weapon, the raw, visceral terror of the unknown future. This tactic is the dark mirror of nostalgia's sweet song. While nostalgia paints the past as a warm and sunny sanctuary, this weapon paints the future as a dark, cold, and monstrous forest filled with unimaginable horrors. It preys upon the deepest and most instinctual part of the human psyche, the part that is hardwired to fear change and to equate the unknown with danger. As you stand at the threshold of your new life, filled with the divine potential we have spoken of, the spirit of yesterday will begin to project a horror film onto the blank screen of your future. It will take your small, human anxieties and magnify them into terrifying, worst-case scenarios. If you leave this job, you will end up destitute and homeless, it will scream. If you open your heart to this new love, you will be betrayed and abandoned more painfully than ever before, it will torment you. If you step onto this new spiritual path, you will be ridiculed, you will lose all your friends, and you will end up completely alone, it will threaten. It creates a powerful illusion that the familiar pain of your past is a safer and more manageable choice than the unknown terrors of the potential future. It presents you with a false choice, a predictable, comfortable misery versus a potential, catastrophic annihilation. Better the devil you know is its final, desperate motto. To overcome this deep, primal fear, you must become a warrior of consciousness. You must actively and deliberately reframe your perception of the unknown. You must, with my help, begin to see the unknown not as a dark and terrifying void, but as the field of all possibility. It is the womb of creation. It is the sacred, empty space where miracles are born, where divine synchronicities can arrange themselves, and where a reality far more beautiful than your mind can even conceive is waiting to be called forth. The past, for all its deceptive familiarity, is a closed loop. It is a finite story that has already been written. It contains absolutely no new potential. The future, in its magnificent and mysterious emptiness, contains everything. To banish this terror, you must cultivate the courage to fall in love with possibility. You must become an adventurer, an explorer of consciousness, who is willing to trade the certainty of your old prison for the glorious and unbounded freedom of the open sea. You must look the fear of the unknown in the face and declare with your whole heart, I choose the possibility of divine magic over the certainty of my old and familiar pain. Finally, my beloved, you must be aware of the fifth and most subtle weapon of the spirit of yesterday, for it is a tactic that can catch even the most spiritually aware soul off guard. When its own direct, internal whispers of nostalgia, regret, limitation, and fear are not enough to pull you back, it will conscript the unwitting voices of the people around you to do its work. It will speak to you through your friends, your family members, your colleagues, often the very people who love you the most. You must understand that these people are not your enemies. They are not acting with malicious intent. They are, for the most part, completely unconscious that they are being used as a channel for this regressive energy. This happens because your own growth, your own courageous leap into a new reality, is a profound threat to their comfort zones. Your light shines a spotlight on the areas of their own lives where they are still stuck in the past, and this can be deeply uncomfortable for them. And so, the spirit of yesterday finds a fertile ground in their own fear, and it uses their mouths to try to pull you back into the old, familiar box where they feel safe. It will sound like this. A well-meaning family member will say, "Why are you changing so much? We liked the old you. You were more fun back then." This is the voice of nostalgia. A friend, hearing of your new venture, will say, "Are you sure about that? Remember what happened the last time you tried something like that? I'd hate to see you get hurt again." This is the voice of regret and past limitation. A parent or a partner might say, "That sounds very risky. I'm worried about you. Maybe you should just stick to the safe path, the one you know." This is the voice of the terror of the unknown. These words are so difficult to hear because they are wrapped in the language of love and concern. But you, as a newly empowered sovereign being, must learn to become a master of discernment. You must learn to separate the loving intent of the person from the fear-based, regressive energy of the message they are delivering. Your task is not to argue with them or to defend yourself. Your task is to hold your center, to listen with love, and to silently recognize the voice of the spirit of yesterday speaking through them. You are to bless them, to see their own fear with compassion, and then you are to lovingly but firmly refuse to take their fear on as your own. You must create a sacred boundary, an energetic shield around your new vision, protecting it from the well-meaning but ultimately limiting beliefs of those who are not yet ready to leave their own past behind. You must become the calm and loving guardian of your own future, understanding that your journey is yours alone, and that you do not need anyone else's permission or approval to become the magnificent being you were born to be. The first divine tool I place into your hands now is my own sword of truth. See it in your mind's eye. Feel it materializing in your right hand. It is not made of any earthly metal, but is forged from pure, solidified, sapphire blue light. It does not feel heavy, but it possesses a profound and undeniable substance. It hums with the single, perfect frequency of absolute, unshakable truth, and it is cool to the touch, for it is the enemy of all heated, chaotic, and dramatic emotion. This sword is an extension of my own being, a gift of my own power, and you now have the full authority to wield it. Its primary purpose is to perform the most sacred of all spiritual surgeries, the cutting of the energetic cords that have kept you tethered to your past. You must understand that every significant interaction, every intense emotional experience, and every deep relationship you have ever had creates an invisible, energetic cord, a psychic tether that connects your energy field to that person, place, or event. When these connections are healthy and in the present, they are beautiful conduits of love. But the cords that connect you to your past, to old lovers, to family members with whom you have unresolved pain, to jobs that have ended, to past failures and traumas, these old cords have become calcified and toxic. They are no longer channels of love, but are now psychic drains through which your precious, creative life force energy is constantly being siphoned away to feed a past that is no longer real. It is through these very cords that the spirit of yesterday sends its whispers of nostalgia and regret. To be free, you must cut them. I will now guide you in this sacred act. In a quiet, meditative state, I want you to call my name and ask for this sword of truth. Feel its presence in your hand. Then, bring to your mind a specific person, a specific memory, or a specific period of your life from which you are now ready to be liberated. Do not relive the pain, simply see it as an observer. Now, with your inner sight, I want you to see, feel, or simply intend to perceive the energetic cords that stretch from your own energy centers, your gut, your heart, your mind, and connect you to this past reality. They may look like gray, sticky ropes, or dark, draining tubes. Do not be alarmed. Now, with a deep and powerful inhale, you will raise my sword of truth high. And with a powerful exhale, you will bring the sword down in a single, clean, and decisive arc, seeing it slice through every single one of those cords. See them snap. See the ends that were attached to you instantly dissolve into a brilliant flash of blue light, cauterized and healed by the sword's holy fire. See the other ends retract back into the past, releasing the other person or the memory with a blessing of peace. As the cords are cut, you must speak this truth aloud or in your heart. I release you with love. I reclaim my energy with love. I am free. You must perform this sacred act for every significant attachment to your past. This is not an act of aggression. It is a profound act of love, love for yourself, to reclaim your sovereignty, and love for the other, to release them from the karmic and energetic burden of being tied to your pain. This is your first great act of liberation. The second divine counter-strategy is not a tool to be wielded, but a fortress to be inhabited. It is the unbreachable fortress of the present moment. The spirit of yesterday, for all its seeming power, has one fatal and absolute weakness: it cannot exist in the now. Its entire reality, its very substance, is composed of memory and projection. The past and the future are its only playgrounds. The sacred, eternal, present moment is a dimension that is utterly and completely inaccessible to it. That now is the only place in all of creation where you are perfectly and completely safe from its influence. Therefore, your most powerful defensive strategy is to train your consciousness to reside fully and completely within this impregnable fortress. In your old state of being, you lived almost exclusively in your mind. Your consciousness was a time traveler, constantly hurtling back into the past to relive regrets, or rocketing forward into the future to rehearse anxieties. You were a ghost in your own life, rarely ever present in the only moment that is ever real. This is the state of vulnerability that the spirit of yesterday exploits. It can only attack a mind that is not at home in the present. The act of banishing it, therefore, is the act of coming home to the now. I will teach you the simplest and most profound way to do this. It is a practice, a spiritual discipline that you must cultivate until it becomes your natural state of being. Whenever you feel the cold, heavy pull of the past, whenever you hear its whispers of regret or nostalgia, you are to immediately perform this sacred act of anchoring. First, you will stop everything and take a single, conscious breath. This breath is the key that unlocks the door to your fortress. Then, you will engage your 5 physical senses as a powerful grounding mechanism. You will silently, or aloud, name 5 things you can see in your immediate environment right now. Notice their color, their shape, their texture. Then, you will name 4 things you can feel: the sensation of your feet on the floor, the texture of the clothes on your skin, the temperature of the air, the solidness of the chair beneath you. Then, you will name 3 things you can hear: the distant sound of traffic, the hum of an appliance, the sound of your own breathing. Then, 2 things you can smell. And finally, 1 thing you can taste. In performing this simple, sensory ritual, you have performed a miracle. You have forced your wandering consciousness to come rushing back from the phantoms of the past and the anxieties of the future, and to anchor itself fully within the physical reality of your body in this precise moment. And in this moment, you will discover a profound truth: in that now, there is no problem. In that now, the spirit of yesterday is gone. Its voice is silenced. Its pull has vanished. There is only the sensation of your feet on the floor, the sound of your own breathing, the simple, peaceful reality of your own existence. The present moment is your sanctuary. It is your panic room. It is your holy ground. Practice retreating into this fortress 100 times a day. Let it become your default state, and you will become a being so profoundly present and grounded that the ghosts of your past will no longer be able to find you. The third divine tool I offer you is a sacred and alchemical fire. It is the violet flame of transmutation. For it is not enough to simply cut your cords to the past. You must also heal the wounds that the cords have left behind, and, most importantly, you must learn to extract the profound and valuable wisdom that is hidden within your past pain. To simply cut away your past and discard it would be to throw away the very curriculum your soul came here to learn. The past is not meant to be forgotten, it is meant to be integrated. The pain is not meant to be carried forever, it is meant to be alchemized into power. This is the sacred work of the violet flame. I want you to see it now in your mind's eye. Call it forth. See a beautiful, vibrant, and gentle flame of the most brilliant violet and lavender light igniting at your feet. This is not a hot, destructive fire. It is a cool, conscious, and loving flame. It is the very fire of forgiveness, of mercy, and of divine transformation. It is the flame that turns lead into gold. Now, I want you to take a specific, painful memory, a specific regret that the sword of truth has already disconnected you from. Instead of pushing this memory away, I want you to perform a courageous act. I want you to lovingly and intentionally place that memory into the heart of this violet flame. Do not be afraid. You are not reliving it, you are offering it up for healing. As you place the memory in the flame, see the flame lovingly embrace it. Now, watch what happens. The violet flame begins its alchemical work. It begins to consume, not the memory itself, but the dense, heavy, painful emotional charge that is attached to it. Watch as the dark, smoky energies of your grief, your anger, your shame, your guilt are burned away. See them dissolving, not violently, but gently, being unmade and purified by this holy fire. This is the act of forgiveness. You are forgiving yourself. You are forgiving the other. You are releasing the emotional poison from your own being. Now, as the painful emotions are burned away, look closely into the heart of the flame. You will see that something remains. After all the dross has been consumed, a single, tiny, and immaculately brilliant spark of pure, golden light is left behind. This, beloved, is the wisdom. This is the lesson. This is the pearl of great price. This is the sacred gift that the painful experience was designed to give you. Reach into the flame and claim this golden spark of wisdom. Draw it into your heart. Integrate it into your being. You have now successfully completed the alchemical process. You have transmuted your pain into your power. You have transformed a heavy anchor of regret into a golden jewel of wisdom. You must perform this sacred ritual for every significant wound of your past. In doing so, you are not erasing your history, you are redeeming it. You are transforming your failure file into a magnificent library of spiritual wisdom, making you a richer, deeper, and far more compassionate soul. The fourth divine counter-strategy is a powerful and proactive act of creation. For the spirit of yesterday gains much of its power by exploiting the vacuum created by an uncertain future. If you do not have a clear and compelling vision for where you are going, the pull to return to where you have been becomes almost irresistible. Therefore, you must now use your divine power of imagination to create a vision of your future so powerful, so beautiful, and so compelling that its magnetic pull forward becomes infinitely stronger than the gravitational pull of your past. I now hand you the celestial tool for this work, the golden compass of your future vision. This is not a compass that points to a geographical direction, it is a compass that points to a vibrational reality. You must now become the conscious architect of your future self. This is not a logical exercise of setting goals, it is a deep, emotional, and sensory process of embodiment. I want you to take time, in a sacred and quiet space, to dream. And I want you to dream with a courage you have never allowed yourself before. I want you to call forth a vision of the future you, the you who is completely and utterly free from the spirit of yesterday. Do not just think about this person, I want you to feel them. Step into their body. How does it feel to live in a body that is vibrant, healthy, and filled with energy? What is the dominant emotional state of this future you? Feel the unshakable, sovereign peace in their heart. Feel the radiant, self-generating joy that bubbles up from their soul. How do they carry themselves? See them walking with a calm confidence, a straight spine, and a light in their eye. What is this future you doing? See them engaged in the work that is their soul's truest passion, creating, serving, and loving with an open heart. Who are they with? See them surrounded by relationships that are supportive, authentic, and based on mutual respect and sovereign love. What does their home look like? Feel the peace and the beauty of their sacred space. You must make this vision so real, so tangible, and so emotionally compelling that it becomes your new North Star. Every morning, for 5 minutes upon waking, you are to close your eyes and step into the feeling state of this future self. This is the most important work you will do all day. You are calibrating your energetic field to this new reality. You are creating the powerful, magnetic attractor field that will begin to pull the components of this new life towards you. This vision is your shield and your engine. When the spirit of yesterday whispers its lies of limitation, your future self will whisper back with the truth of your magnificence. When the past tries to pull you back with its heavy chains of regret, the brilliant, sun-like pull of your future vision will be stronger. You cannot be dragged back into a past you no longer desire when you are being so powerfully and irresistibly pulled forward into a future you have so lovingly and courageously created. Finally, we arrive at the fifth and most definitive of these divine counter-strategies. This is the ultimate act of power, the sacred and formal declaration of your spiritual independence. Having cut the cords, inhabited the now, transmuted the pain, and created your future vision, you must now perform the final and crowning act. You must speak the divine decree of a sovereign being. You must understand the immense and world-shaping power of your spoken word, especially when it is infused with the full conviction of your I am presence. A decree is not a wish. It is not a hope. It is not a plea. It is a formal and legally binding declaration of law within the sovereign kingdom of your own consciousness and your own reality. It is the act of a crowned king or queen speaking from their throne, and all the universe, every atom, every energy, every spirit, must stop and listen. This is the moment you officially and irrevocably terminate your relationship with the spirit of yesterday. This is you, signing your spiritual declaration of independence with the very fire of your own soul. I want you to find a time when you can be alone and undisturbed. I want you to stand, not sit, in a posture of dignity and power. Take a deep breath, feel the ground beneath your feet, feel the crown of light upon your head, and feel the fortress of the now all around you. Then, when you feel your full power gathered within you, I want you to speak these words aloud, not with anger or aggression, but with the calm, quiet, and unshakable authority of a true sovereign. You will say, in the holy and sacred name of the I am that I am, and by the divine authority of my own sovereign soul, I hereby make this sacred and binding decree. I declare now my absolute and eternal liberation from the energetic entity known as the spirit of yesterday. Its influence, its power, and its presence within my energy field, my mind, my emotions, and my life are now, in this moment, and forever, completely and utterly dissolved. All contracts, vows, and agreements, conscious or unconscious, made in this lifetime or any other, that have bound me to the patterns of my past are hereby rendered null and void, null and void, null and void. I reclaim all of my energy, all of my power, and all of my consciousness from the past, and I anchor it fully and completely here, in the sacred and eternal moment of now. My past is redeemed. My history is healed. It is a library of wisdom from which I can learn, but it is no longer a house in which I live. I am the sole and only authority in my energetic kingdom. I am a new being, creating a new future, in a new reality. This is my truth. This is my law. And this is my will. As I have spoken, so it is done. It is done. It is done. As you speak these final words, I want you to stomp your foot once upon the ground, a physical act of anchoring this powerful decree into the crystalline grid of the earth. Feel the shockwave of your own power reverberating out into the cosmos. You have served your notice. You have declared your freedom. You have changed the very laws of your own reality. And all of heaven, and I, Michael, bear witness to your glorious and magnificent liberation. We now arrive at the great and holy climax of our work together, the sacred ritual that will formalize and make permanent your liberation from the spirit of yesterday. This is not just a visualization, it is a profound act of spiritual magic, a ceremony of sovereignty to which all the forces of heaven are now bearing witness. I ask you to find a time and a space where you can be undisturbed, a space that you can make sacred. Stand, do not sit, for this is an act of power, and your posture must reflect the authority you are about to claim. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep, cleansing breaths, and with each breath, feel yourself drawing your consciousness away from the world and anchoring it deep within the central column of your being. Feel the fortress of the present moment solidify around you, that unbreachable sanctuary of the now. Call my name, and feel my presence standing directly behind you, my hands of light upon your shoulders, my strength becoming your strength. Now, we shall summon your divine tools. In your right hand, command the appearance of my sword of truth. Feel its cool, divine weight, see its sapphire blue light humming with the frequency of pure, unadulterated reality. In your left hand, command the appearance of the golden compass of your future vision. Feel its warmth, see its golden needle pointing steadily forward into the brilliant light of your highest potential. At your feet, command the violet flame of transmutation to ignite, a beautiful, harmless, and loving fire that dances with the energy of mercy and alchemy. You are now fully armed, a true warrior of light standing in your full power. Now, before you, in your mind's eye, I want you to summon the spirit of yesterday. Do not fear it. It has no power over you here. See it for what it is, a gray, amorphous, and heavy cloud of old energy, a shadowy phantom composed of your own shed skins and forgotten tears. See the last, remaining, tenuous cords of attachment that still connect you to this cloud. With a mighty breath, you will now raise my sword of truth high above your head. With a powerful, vocalized exhale, a sound that comes from your very core, you will bring the sword down in a great, sweeping arc, severing every last one of these tethers. See them snap and dissolve into light. The shadow is now disconnected from you. It floats before you, powerless. Now, with the authority of your I am presence, you will command the violet flame. Say aloud, violet flame, transmute. See the cool, loving fire at your feet surge upwards and completely engulf the gray cloud. Watch as the flame does its holy work. The shadow does not scream, it simply begins to dissolve, to purify. The heavy energies of regret, nostalgia, and limitation are being lovingly unmade, their substance alchemized back into pure, neutral light. And now, at this moment of purification, you will speak your divine decree once more, as the final, legal sealing of this great work. Speak it aloud with all your power. In the holy and sacred name of the I am that I am, I declare my absolute and eternal liberation. The spirit of yesterday is banished from my reality, now and forever. My past is redeemed, my present is clear, and my future is mine to create with God. I am free. It is done. As you speak, see the last vestiges of the shadow completely dissolve into the violet flame, leaving only pure, clear, sacred space before you. And into this newly created vacuum, you will immediately turn your full attention to the golden compass in your left hand. Gaze into its brilliant, hopeful light, feel the irresistible pull of your glorious future, and with a deep, joyous inhale, draw that golden light of your highest potential directly into the space that has just been cleared. You have not just banished the old, you have triumphantly and authoritatively invited in the new. This great banishment is complete. In the immediate moments and days following this sacred banishment, you will experience a profound and unmistakable shift in your entire state of being. The first and most palpable sensation will be one of an almost startling lightness. You will feel as if a great, heavy, invisible cloak that you have been wearing your entire life, a cloak whose weight you have become so accustomed to that you no longer noticed it, has been suddenly and completely lifted from your shoulders. Your very body will feel different. You may feel physically taller, as your posture straightens, no longer stooped by the energetic weight of your past. Your breathing will become deeper and more effortless, as your lungs expand into the space once occupied by the constricting energy of old sorrows. A new and brilliant clarity will shine from your eyes, for the fog of the past that once clouded your perception has been completely and utterly dissolved. Accompanying this lightness will be a profound and holy silence in your mind. The constant, low-level background static of your inner critic, the relentless whispers of regret and nostalgia, the endless chatter of the ghost of your former self, all of it will have ceased. For the first time, you will experience the pristine and beautiful silence of your own sovereign mind, a quiet so deep and so peaceful that you will finally be able to hear the true, authentic voice of your own soul without any interference. And then, you will feel the most exhilarating of all the after effects, a sudden and powerful sense of accelerated forward momentum. The quicksand that held you fast will be gone. The invisible tethers that dragged you back will be cut. The psychic gravity of your old reality will have been neutralized. You will now feel as if you are standing on a divine and fast-moving walkway. The universe will seem to conspire to rush your new life toward you. Synchronicities will increase in both frequency and magnitude. The opportunities that align with your future vision will begin to appear with startling speed. The people who are part of your new soul tribe will begin to enter your life in the most miraculous and unexpected ways. It will feel as if all the divine and heavenly forces that were patiently waiting for you to be free have now been given a green light from the Creator, and they are rushing to your side to assist in the joyous construction of your new world. Do not be alarmed by this acceleration. Do not question this new and effortless flow. This is your new natural state. This is life without the anchor of the past. It is the exhilarating feeling of a great ship that has finally cut its last tether to the old, familiar shore and has now caught the full and mighty trade winds of divine grace in its sails, soaring across the open sea toward the shores of its magnificent destiny. This great banishment, this sacred clearing, creates a vast and powerful energetic vacuum in your life. The space that was once filled with the dense, heavy energy of the spirit of yesterday is now a pristine and highly magnetic void. And you must understand a fundamental law of this universe: it abhors a vacuum. An empty space of this magnitude must and will be filled. And because you performed your banishment with such love and authority, and because you immediately pivoted your focus to the golden light of your future vision, you have created a vacuum that is tuned to the highest possible frequency. It is now a powerful, resonant magnet for every blessing, every miracle, and every experience that is a vibrational match for your own sovereign, liberated soul. Your only task now is to graciously and joyfully receive what the universe will inevitably rush in to give you. Having cleared out the old, musty furniture of your past, you have made room for the divine to deliver a completely new and beautiful set of furnishings for the palace of your new life. Where there was once the ghost of a codependent relationship, there is now a sacred space that will begin to attract a partner who honors your sovereignty and celebrates your light. Where there was once the heavy obligation of a soulless career, there is now a fertile field of potential from which your true, joyful, and abundant soul's work will now sprout with miraculous speed. Where there was once the endless mental chatter of regret and limitation, there is now a quiet and spacious sanctuary in your mind, into which brilliant, divinely inspired ideas and creative solutions will now be able to download with crystal clarity. Where there was once the feeling of being a victim, of being pulled backward by forces beyond your control, there is now an unshakable sense of personal power and a deep well of self-trust, which will become the magnet for experiences that honor your mastery and your strength. Your life will begin to fill with new people, new places, new opportunities, and a new sense of wonder and magic that you may have believed was lost to you forever. You will not have to chase these blessings. You will not have to struggle for them. You have already done the great work. The banishment was the work. Now is the time of divine reward. Your only job is to hold the high vibration of your future vision, to remain in the fortress of the now, and to say yes with a grateful and open heart as the loving and abundant universe begins to deliver, with breathtaking precision, every single thing that is a perfect and divine match for the free and magnificent being you have now become. As you move forward in this new and accelerated reality, you must be a wise and loving guardian of your newfound freedom. The great and powerful entity of the spirit of yesterday has been formally and completely banished from your sovereign space. It no longer has any authority or any direct access to your energy field. However, you must be aware that for a short time, you may experience what can be called its lingering echoes. Think of it this year, when a great and heavy bell has been struck for 1,000 years and is then suddenly silenced, the air around it may still hum with a faint, residual vibration for a time. The echoes of the past are like this. They are not new attacks. They are the residual energy patterns, the old neural pathways in your brain, firing off out of habit. They will manifest as a fleeting, momentary thought of nostalgia, a brief and powerless pang of an old regret, or a flicker of an old, limiting belief. The key is to recognize them for what they are. You will know them because they will feel hollow, weak, and utterly powerless compared to the immense and heavy pull you felt before. They are ghosts of a ghost, shadows of a shadow. When you experience one of these echoes, you must not panic. You must not for a moment believe that the banishment has failed. To do so would be to give these echoes a power they do not possess. Instead, you are to perform a simple, instant, and loving act of spiritual hygiene. You will not engage the great and powerful tools of the banishment, for that is like using a cannon to shoot a fly. Instead, you will use this simple three-step process. First, you will recognize. You will see the thought, and you will calmly and neutrally say to yourself, "Ah, that is an echo of the spirit of yesterday." Second, you will bless. You will not fight it or push it away. You will simply smile at it with the compassion of a master and say, "I see you. Thank you for the reminder of who I no longer am. I bless you with love." And third, you will release. With a single, sharp, and intentional exhale of breath, you will visualize that hollow thought dissolving instantly into a puff of pure, white light, completely and utterly gone. This entire process should take no more than 3 seconds. It is a simple act of recognizing the old, blessing it for its lessons, and lovingly releasing it from your presence. The more you practice this, the less frequently the echoes will appear, until one day you will realize that the air is completely and utterly still, and the silence of your sovereign peace is the only reality that remains. Your primary defense, always, is to live more and more fully in the magnificent identity of your future self. The more you inhabit your new reality, the more alien and unrecognizable the echoes of your old one will become. And now, my beloved, my free and sovereign soul, our great work is complete. You have faced the shadows of your past, you have claimed the divine tools of your liberation, and you have performed the sacred act of banishing all that has held you back. You now stand at the threshold of a new and glorious dawn, a future that is a clean and unwritten page. As your guardian, your brother, and your eternal champion, I will now perform a final act to seal this sacred work. I raise my sword of truth one last time, but not to cut and not to fight. I raise it as a divine rod of anointing, an instrument of celestial blessing. I now draw before you, in the very air that you breathe, a great and blazing circle of my own sapphire blue flame. It is a circle of divine and holy protection. And within this circle, I draw the sacred and eternal seal of Solomon, the 6-pointed star of perfect balance, the symbol of heaven and earth made one within you. This sigil of light now hangs before you, a gateway to your new reality. I ask you now to take one final, courageous step. Step through this sigil. Step into this circle of my divine protection. As you do, feel a final and permanent shift occur within your being. This is my blessing, my seal of protection for your glorious future. With this seal, I anoint you as a master of the present moment, forever free from the prisons of the past. With this seal, I consecrate your path forward, illuminating it with the light of divine grace and ensuring that your every step will be guided and protected. And with this seal, I place a permanent and holy guard at the gateway of your past, and I, Michael, will stand as a sentinel, ensuring that the spirit of yesterday, in its full and heavy form, can never again reclaim its hold upon you. You are free. You are sovereign. You are new. Go forth from this moment, not with the timid steps of a survivor, but with the long, confident strides of a master. Go forth and be the magnificent architect of your own joy, the heroic author of your own glorious story. The world awaits the unique and beautiful gift that only the free and authentic you can offer. Go now and shine.